Yeah, if you need a new webtoon to read, I highly recommend Jungle Juice. It's so good. The main character is in his first year of university, and he has a big secret. He has dragonfly wings. He's finally popular now in university, and everything's going good. There's one girl in particular that really likes him, but he's always dodging her. And everyone's like, why? If you like her and she likes you, go out with her. But he's like, nah, I don't think so. I'm good, bro. I'm busy. Turns out the secret is because of dragonfly wings, he has to always go home and stretch them because where else can you go to stretch them and not make a scene? And she's like, hey, I really like you. Can we go on a date? And he's always like, no, too busy. So she somehow comes to his apartment to figure out what's going on with him because he's acting really distant recently, even more than usual. And then she's like, hey, I know you're going through something. I don't know what it is, but I'd like to hang out with you and be your support system. So he says, awesome. They go on a movie date and everything's going well. All of a sudden, a random insect human, like the main character, but this time he's a praying mantis, he's killing people for fun and eating. And he's like, oh, my favorite's here, dragonfly. Can't wait to dig in. So he knows the main character is a dragonfly insect human. But main character's like, damn, what's going on? Why is this guy here? What's happening? So he's trying to get away, escape, and he barely gets away. And he's trying to find the girl because you have to find her. He finally finds her, and he's cornered. He has two options: break the window and fly for the first time ever, or run away and find a different exit and then come back for her. But you don't have time for all that. So he grabs the girl and then breaks the window and flies out for the first time. But people outside, they're taking pictures, taking videos. Everything's not going well. He gets away, brings her to a hospital, but she literally see him open his wings and fly. So she's like, oh my gosh, he's a monster. So she wakes up and says, leave me alone, don't ever approach me again, you monster. Now he has to go into hiding and have a whole new life. But as he's trying to figure out what's going on, a girl from earlier who's also an insect human, she says, hey, I can show you how to start your new life and possibly get you back to normal, but only if you trust me. So he goes along with her, and they go to like this utopia full of insect humans. They call it the nest. Basically, if you're an insect human, you live here with other insect humans, and you learn how to use your powers. So if you're part butterfly, you learn how to be a butterfly. If you're part scorpion, you learn how to be part scorpion. If you're a spider, you learn how to build webs and do everything a spider does on the human scale. It's really cool. So you learn how to survive. But it's a university, so depending on what bug you get, that's what kind of class you should take. So if you're a predator, you have to learn how to control your powers and not go crazy trying to eat people like a real predator. If you're like the prey, you have to learn how to survive and escape predators. It's really cool. I like the system because obviously the power comes down to the person and knowing the bug that you're mixed with. And there's a way to turn back to normal by drinking this thing called Cinderella. But to use it, you need to get jungle juice, which it's already rare in itself because we learned jungle juice. If you kill a bug and then spray it, you get the bug's DNA mixed with your DNA, turning you into an insect human. But they went bankrupt and no one really knows anything about the company, so it's hard to get Cinderella, and the only one that can get it is valedictorians. And they use that during graduation to turn back to normal. But that's why it's important to become valedictorian, learn how to use your abilities, and actually contribute something. Then you get it as reward. And obviously they want more, but if it's already rare as it is, how do you find it? That's a big issue for the entire cast, finding ways to turn back to normal. But there's one faction where essentially they don't want to turn back to normal. They like having these abilities and being insect humans. And they all have insects that are like predators and dangerous. So because they're already evil and have evil abilities, they want to keep being more powerful and destroy the nest because they feel like the nest is trying to undo insect human curse, they call it. And they don't want that. They feel like this is a great chance to evolve humanity and be better than a regular human. And obviously you can guess, a lot of these characters have tragic backstories. So some people like their powers because they finally felt strong. Some people want to go back to normal, so they hate their powers. Some people are okay being insect human. And that's what makes the series so interesting. Not everybody wants the same goals, but everybody knows that who finds the jungle juice will determine how things play out. The bad guys find jungle juice. They can use it to make more insect humans and turn everyone into monsters to be part of their monster army. But the main characters get it, they can use it to turn people back to normal, who want to be back to normal. Or they can find the jungle juice and turn kids, old people, anyone that turned into an insect by accident back to normal. That's the point. Give everybody the choice to stay an insect human and be happy, or go back to a normal life or whatever they want. And that's make things tricky. Main character, at times, it's like he wants to go back to normal, but then he realizes the nest is his new normal. He finally has friends, people that care about him, people he wants to protect. He still likes the main girl, even though she called him a monster. He feels like he goes back to normal, he could possibly date her. But I think the girl that he met that took him to the nest, he might like her. So I want to see them as a couple, but that's what makes it tricky. There's no clear-cut answers. But that makes it interesting. So we do learn that by learning about your insect, you can be more adapted to your abilities, but you have to maintain a balance. If you go too primal, you'll lose your mind and become that animal that you're mixed with. But if you don't use your powers and maintain humanity, you'll still be an outcast of society and you'll be clumsy. So that's why it's important for the characters to go to the university if they want to learn how to use their powers, or it's really important for them to embrace their abilities and embrace their normal. And that makes it cool. And I like how we learn about all these cool insects and their matchups, but we also learn why certain characters act the way they do. If you're a prey, it makes sense to be scared and not have confidence in yourself. But if you're a predator, it makes sense that you're aggressive and you're confident in your abilities, but you still have to learn how to use your abilities. So it makes the story so interesting. It's showing you that the world really isn't black and white, it's really gray. Some characters love their powers, but they're evil. Some characters hate their powers, but their powers gave them a better life than one they already had. So I like about the series, it's really showing you how it's really not about the powers, it's about the person with the powers and how they use it. And that's why it's so cool. I love the art, I love the characters, and so far, every character makes sense to how the way they act, and their backstory just adds on to them. It's not like, haha, I'm evil because I'm evil, my backstory justifies it. Some people are just really bad characters, and that's the way they want to be. Some characters, they're not really evil, they're just on the wrong path, and they had no other choice. They felt they had no other choice. That's what makes it cool. It's one of those stories where it's like, you could love the villains, but also hate the main cast, and vice versa is possible. So, check it out. It's definitely worth the read. But yeah, that's all my thoughts for today. If you want to support me, you know what to do. Check out the coffee, Patreon, link is in the description box below. If you want to support my channel, but you're broke, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. But hey, thank you so much for watching. I can say so much more, but my crew needs me.